What's going on, guys? Dave is Hirsch from HirschPower. Welcome back to another video. As you saw in our last video, it was a detailed removal of the transmission on our NG2 Miata. Today, we're going to be showing you guys how to remove the OEM clutch and replace it with an aftermarket clutch. Right now, we are running a Gold Series competition clutch, but we are not going to be removing the flywheel because we are going to be boosting the car. All right, guys, so even with our jacks at max, I'm not able to remove the transmission from underneath the car. So currently sitting here in the transmission tunnel. What we're going to do first is remove the release bearing as well as the clutch shaft, or whatever you call it. Clutch fork. So we're going to get this off first. It's going to be a bit hard for me to show you guys due to the limited space in here, but I'm going to set a tripod up. I'm wearing some gloves because this is just so disgusting. But afterwards, we're going to clean this off and then put some new moly grease on it to basically lubricate these splines. So to remove the clutch release bearing, I couldn't find a good example on YouTube. Well, all you're going to do is just grab this. It's going to be all nasty, so you might want to wear some gloves or clean it off first. But all you're going to do is just pull it down. I've already released it, so it's I've already eliminated the tension, but you just pull it straight down, and then you will be able to remove the input shaft. And set that aside, clean this off, and then you'll be ready to go ahead and reinstall everything once you have the new clutch installed. Once you have the old release bearing removed, I'd recommend taking the clutch fork out and just giving it a good clean off to remove all of the old clutch dust. As you can see right here, I'm applying some grease to the input shaft splines, and then I just slid the new clutch onto the splines. I did that to evenly distribute the grease along the splines, and then I went ahead and removed or wiped the excess from the splines on the new clutch. Additionally, we are also going to have to grease the tension points on the clutch fork. So I've slowed this clip down because I found this a little bit confusing when you're reinstalling everything. If you look on the left, the circular ball is on the opposite side of the clutch fork, so it's hidden when you reinstall everything. And if you look below it, that is the kind of T-style spring that needs to be pressed onto it. If you look on the clip on the right, you might have to go back a couple seconds on the video, but you'll see you have to force the clip to go around the ball to basically hold it in place. Once you have the transmission removed, of course, you're going to start by trying to remove the clutch. There's going to be 6 bolts on the side facing you, but you'll notice that the clutch is going to spin as you try and remove them. So if you look right here, I installed the Flying Miata flywheel locking tool, which allows the flywheel to be locked in place so you can freely remove each of those bolts. That can be purchased through the link in the description below, and I would highly recommend it, as I don't really know how else we would have gone about doing this. So once you've already installed the new throwout bearing and reinserted the clutch fork into the bell housing, what I did, you don't have to do this, but I would highly recommend it, is dented in the sides of the transmission tunnel so you don't have to do such a severe turn of the transmission. I used a large hammer, shall we say, to get that dented in. It's not as perfect as I'd like since we didn't remove the flywheel. If we would remove the flywheel, I could have got this dented in to the point where you probably could take the trans in and out in probably 10 minutes if you've already got the bell housing bolts removed. But like I said, we didn't do that, so we're not going to be able to get that much leverage. But I have lined it up so that we should be able to do the kind of 45 degree to 90 degree lean or rotation much easier than before. You can hit the heat shield side or the passenger side, but there is less room, once again, because I haven't removed the flywheel. But with that said, we also went ahead and kind of hit the sides of the heat shield inwards, just so that when you're in there trying to tighten the bell housing bolts, it's not going to cut you as much. And I also flattened the staples that go around the heat shield, just because those cut you as well. But with that said, we're going to go ahead and reinstall the clutch right now, then the pressure plate, and then you're going to torque it down, and I'll show you guys the proper specs as well as the torque sequence. All right, so right there, I did it off camera. We tried to start reinstalling the trans It's kind of like a test fit to see what is still kind of needs to be bashed in, shall we say. As you can see right here, where it's hitting there, I need to clear that more. I think I put a little, not really too much emphasis right here, but I just didn't hit this spot in. Same with over on the driver's side. I placed so much emphasis on getting this caved in that I did not realize that this hard crease right here is still a pretty big issue. So I'm gonna hammer that in some more and test fit. Hopefully this will be the last time we test fit, but we're gonna be good to go after that. All right, guys, so I know I didn't get to record that. There's just not enough space in the transmission tunnel. Unfortunately, the tightening sequence was a little hard for me to get on camera as well, but I will have a diagram on the screen of how that's gonna work. You're gonna start out, the torque spec is between 19 and 24 foot-pounds. I started out taking them all to 15 foot-pounds in the star pattern as shown in the diagram on screen, and then I went to 19 foot-pounds, and then I maxed them out at 24 foot-pounds following in the diagram because I didn't want to over torque them and make any of them kind of unsettled, shall we say. But now that that's done, we are good to go ahead and release the clutch alignment tool right here, just like that. I did use the Miata locking tool or flywheel locking tool. This really helped. I'm honestly pretty impressed by that. But with that said, what we're gonna go ahead and do now is begin the reinstallation of the transmission, and we're gonna have to move the headers up out of the way just like we did before. But hopefully this goes well. You guys will see how it goes. So right now we're working on getting the transmission back in, and we're fighting against the header flange. We just cannot find a way to seamlessly get that in there. That is with the trans tunnel dented on both sides. And what we figured out is that you can disconnect the header. I don't know about aftermarket header, or I don't know about stock headers, but for our aftermarket ones, we can basically just bend it down and put it how it is now, and it's good to go. What's going on, guys? Stepping in with a little jump cut here because I realized that the videos I filmed while reinstalling the transmission were not that good. So I want to basically explain what's going on. I'm gonna put some videos up here on the screen showing some clips I took, and I want to explain what the confusion was with us getting the transmission back in. If you're familiar with how the transmission works, obviously there's the male end of the input shaft, which goes into the female end of the block, and the splines on the input shaft thread into the splines inserts on the block, and they should just tag in just like that. But the issue that could happen is every now and then, I think it's pretty unlikely, but the splines, the male ends of the splines could align like this with the block. That's why the transmission wouldn't move forward. Obviously, we could, let's say the splines are mirrored just like this, and you try and pull the transmission in by threading the bolts in, something's gonna break, you know, that's gonna be really bad. So I wanted to kind of show the guys I was working with the best way to do it to prevent that. We were gonna pull the transmission out once again so that the splines weren't mirrored. If that was the case, we spun the flywheel a little bit with the flywheel locking tool and then rethreaded it, and we still could not get the transmission input shaft to go into the block just like that. I did not think that the splines were going to be mirrored like this. So what we did is ended up using the bolts to pull the transmission in, and bit by bit the splines slowly intersected as it should be, and it sealed just fine. But yeah, it was kind of a pain to get it back in, but with how much I bashed the transmission tunnel, it wasn't as bad as it could be. But if you guys do have any questions, feel free to leave those below. I know this is not the perfect explanation, but it should help you out overall. Thanks for watching, guys. If you do want to see more Miata content, as I mentioned at the start, we are doing a full turbo kit series on this car, so feel free to stay tuned for that if you do want to keep up with our content. Additionally, I am currently doing a full gutted restoration on this 1990 NA6 Miata
with only 40,000 miles. So if you do want to see that content, I've got those playlists linked in the description below. Additionally, my channel is not yet monetized, so if you do want to support me, feel free to do so. I have links to my Cash App, PayPal, and Venmo as well. But once again, thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate all the support lately, and if you do have any questions, feel free to leave those in the comments as I reply to all of them. All right, see you guys. They ain't sponsor us. All right, free publicity. That was on video. Okay.
We have discovered. Look at these. So we got a little field coilover. We got some end links. Then we got a quick release end link over here.
So the reason behind that is because
and music playing, by the way. Just letting you know.
This is going in. This is going in. This is going in.
Come on, dude. Can we get a leaf blower under here, maybe?
Slightly on the right one, like a little metal.
I thought you were gonna zip it. I mean, I can hear you.
Oh, you're holding your ear.
Yeah, my fault. I'm not like.
I was like, what is this kid doing?
I was ready. I was ready for you to blast it.
I was till kick you to the legs in a second.
we are. What's going on, guys? Davis Hirsch here from HirschPower Garage. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be working on our 2021 Mazda Miata. What's going on, guys? Davis Hirsch here from HirschPower. Welcome back to another video. Today's video we're going to be working on our 2020. Let's do like 3, 2, 1.
I'm sorry. I didn't look at you like you were an idiot.
I was like, dude, I can't do that when I'm getting that look. Alright, we're recording. Oh, alright, I'm gonna move in like 3, 2, 1. What's going on, guys? Davis Hirsch here from HirschPower Garage. Let's install in preparation for our Alright, I'm ready. Famous last
And then it
words.
just fucking shatters.
I'm not looking at that thing. Do I keep going or do I stop?
Does it look like it's moving at all?
If you can see this kid right now, he's like peeking out from behind the toolbox. Oh, give me the cam.
Give it another pose.
Huh?
Give it another pose.
Another bump? Dude, this is...
Now you're here.